Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, New Jersey Nurse to Be. I know that it's been a while, but I'm back and I have a lot of information to give you guys. For the ones that don't know me and haven't followed me, I've been a nurse. I passed my NCLEX on August 5th, 2019 and started working August 7th, 2019 with this company that I'm currently with. So I'm about 2.5 years in, close to 3 years as a LPN nurse. No experience before this. Well, I was a medical assistant slash medical receptionist before I became a nurse and stuff. Um, I started in the long term floor, and then I went to the subacute floor. And from subacute floor, I became building supervisor, and from building supervisor, I then became a charge nurse, and that's what I'm in now. I've been a charge nurse for 5 weeks. I'm still learning. It's a lot to learn and grasp, but I'm a very quick learner, and so far I've been doing good on my floor. I currently have a census of 50 patients, and about 10 of them are short term. When I'm talking about short term, I'm talking about these patients that come from home or from the hospital, and they usually stay with us from a couple of weeks to 3 months, and then they go back home or wherever they, to a group home or wherever they decide, wherever they get discharged to. That's for short term. Long term patients, you guys already know that they stay in the facility until they pass away and stuff. I have two nurses, and usually I have about 3 to 5 CNAs on the floor. On a good day, I'll have 5 CNAs. On a bad day, I'll have 3 CNAs and stuff. But so far, it's been good. Um, what are my duties when I come in? Like, what is my norm that I do when I come in as a charge nurse? I walk into my floor. First thing I check is um, how many CNAs I have on the floor. So if I have 3 CNAs on my floor, I jump on the floor and I help them with passing trays, boosting up patients, picking up trays. I sit my butt back down. I try to help the CNAs as much as possible. If they're short on the floor, I let my two nurses give their meds. So I tell my CNAs, hey, if we're short, don't bother my nurses. Come help. Come ask me for help. I'm an extra set of hands. I also help with changing patients, putting patients in the toilet. Don't mind doing any of that. Another thing I do is in the mornings when I come in, I check lab results to see if there are any pending labs that I need to follow up with doctors. As a charge nurse, you can give those orders to your nurses on the floor and let them follow up with them. But if I'm not busy, I usually follow up on all of that. And I like to be in everything to know everything that's going on with my floor. And I know that if I do it, I know that it's going to get done. And I don't have to be on top of somebody else waiting for them to follow up with the doctor. I also check to see if I have any open incident reports. And I check to see that the incident reports are done right. Did we contact the doctor? Did we notify the family, caseworker, whoever is involved with this patient? Do we have if there's an injury to this incident report, are there any treatments that were ordered? What's the incident report? Do we have any statements from CNAs or housekeepers or whoever's seen the incident report, seen the incident? Um, did we sign it? Did we sign our incident report? Did we write our note? If everything is done, then what I do is if a patient falls and we did an incident report, then I create something called a fall risk assessment. If the incident report is done because of a wound, then I do a Braden score, Braden scale form to go with my incident report, and then I sign it. I meet with the IDT team the next day, and then we close that incident report. That's another thing I do. I also I read all the notes from the night before or the weekend that passed to see if there's any new orders, new admissions, anything that was going on my floor, because I want to make sure that I take care of it before I go to morning meeting. Okay? That's another thing as a charge nurse that you do. So far, it's been good. I've learned a lot. I've learned that I learned how to do care plans, something called Matrix. Matrix is about when a state comes, they automatically, the first thing they ask you is for your matrix. And whatever is on that matrix is fair game. So basically, matrix looks like an Excel spreadsheet, and it has your patient's names, and it has currently what the patient is on. So if they're on diabetic medications, opioids, antidepressant, antipsychotics, then you will put that on that form. And so when the state comes, they can see what the patient is on. All right, the patient's antipsychotic, opioids, diuretics. The patient had a recent fall, has a pressure ulcer, has a catheter, has a G2. So the matrix tells the state how many patients are on antibiotics, how many, if I have patients on G-tube, how many do I have on G-tube, how many patients I have on dialysis, how many patients are on opioids, and that matrix should be updated as frequently as possible. So let's say my name is Blanca, right? So I have a patient named Blanca, and she was just put on antibiotics today. I need to remind myself to go to the matrix and update the matrix and make sure that I put for Blanca that she's on antibiotics. And let's say 5 days from now she's finished, I need to go back to the matrix and discontinue and take that off, that she's no longer on antibiotics. Because if this day comes in, they ask for that matrix and they see it's the 6th day and it shows that Blanca's on antibiotics, facility gets in trouble for giving inaccurate information, because they're going to say, then, wait, it shows that she's on antibiotics, but you're telling me she's no longer on, so why wasn't the matrix updated and stuff? So that's why it's very good for you to be on top of your matrix. You also want to update your care plans with any changes to your patients. So if there are antibiotics, if they have any wounds, if the wounds get resolved, you update your care plans. What else? Any falls, you update your care plans for anything. Even if a patient refuses showers, your care plan should be updated, and there should also be an intervention to everything that you put on that care plan. Okay, there should always be a goal, intervention, and reason why you're doing that care plan and stuff like that. So I learned that. I also learned, I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place. Going back to who's under me. So I'm the unit manager. I have 2 nurses under me who are on their carts, and then I usually have 3 to 5 CNAs. On a good day, I have 5 CNAs. On a bad day, which is called when we're short staff, I have 3 CNAs. And when I have 3 CNAs, the moment I walk through the door, I jump on the floor to pass tray, pick up trays, boost my patients, toilet any patient, help with any care if they need that. You know what I'm saying? Because I try to do it as quick as possible so I can jump in my office and start printing out any reports or any progress notes to read before I go into morning meeting and follow up with my doctors and stuff like that. What else I do? I'll walk my rooms. I walk the whole floor to make sure that if a patient's no longer on oxygen, we remove that machine off. If they're no longer on an IV, I remove that. If they are on isolation, like for example, contact or droplet precautions, they should be the right isolation forms on the doors or the room doors or in plastic bins, whatever is the requirement for that isolation. If a patient is on oxygen, I check to see that the room has an oxygen sign. Make sure to see that all my rooms, like if somebody's on thickens, we have the little stickers showing that they're on thickens. I also check to see that my rooms are clean, that my CNAs are doing what they have to do, that they're not hiding linen, towels, gowns, because they tend to do that and stuff like that. As the unit manager, you are also in charge of every shift. So you're in charge of 3 to 11, 11 to 7. So what I do is I endorse orders like, hey, this patient in 310 did not get a shower for 3 to 11. Wednesday is his next shower. And I'll tell my nurses, hey, put on a 24-hour report that this patient needs to have his shower by tonight. Okay? I usually say, hey, if that shower is not by tonight because you decided to be lazy, I'm writing you up the next day. You know what I'm saying? I say it just like that because they know how I am. You know what I'm saying? We're here to take care of our patients. Yes, I might sound mean saying it to you guys over this video, but I get along with my CNAs. I get along with everybody. I'm very respectful. And I tend, when I give an order out, everybody tends to do it because of the person that I am, the nurse that I am, But I do have to give those warnings like, hey, if it does not get done, just know that you'll be expecting a write-up the next day. Have I written up people since I became a charge nurse? Unfortunately, yes, I had to write one person up, and it was because she wasn't following orders. And I hate to write somebody up, but if you're not doing what you have to do, and our patients are our priority, then I'm gonna write you up. Fair game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to play. Now I'm in a higher position. I need to take this job even more serious than what I was taking it. That's that. How is the pay? The pay is great. Um, I got a really, really, really good raise. I want to make a video on my pay rate, but I'm going to leave that for a down to the future video. When I become an RN, I will talk about my LPN rates and stuff like that. And I've gotten some really good raises since I've been at this company and stuff, and I'm very happy with that. So besides that, what else have I been doing? I officially finished my last prerequisite for the LPN to RN program. I just took microbiology and passed. So thank you, thank you, thank you if you are clapping. Yeah, and it was a very hard class, very challenging. It was online. You guys know that I have 3 kids. I'm married. I work full time now. So it was very challenging towards the end. I also have a sick father that I now take care of and stuff. So I have a lot on my plate. So with all that being said, that class was very, very hard. But I did pass with a B minus. I don't know how I did it, but I always say God is with me, and I pushed myself through that class and stuff. So now I am now getting ready to start signing up for LPN to RN programs to start next year, my RN program. If, again, God is willing and that's in his plans for me and stuff. So yeah, I am looking for that. I'm looking into that right now. A lot of the unit managers that I work with tell me all the time, Blanca, don't get comfortable with this position. Don't let the money fool you. Go back and get your RN. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. A lot of nurses tell me, listen, they're paying you good now, but imagine if you are an RN, they will be paying you money, They've asked me numerous of times to become a unit manager, but at the times that they asked me, I wasn't ready. And I didn't feel like I wanted to do that, to expose myself to that. I was still figuring out being a cart nurse and stuff. And I was liking the role of being a building supervisor as well. When you're the building supervisor, you are in charge of the whole building. Any call outs, any problems on the floor with families, patients, the nurses are coming to you to take care of that. So you need to make sure that you at least have some type of foundation on mostly everything, you know what I'm saying? And so far, this building that I work for has really prepared me as a nurse to be the person that I am now, you know what I'm saying? I have very strong clinical experience now. I mean, I haven't been a nurse for years, you know what I'm saying? But from what I've been picking up and been talking to my doctors, they're very impressed with what I know in this short amount of time. But, I always tell them, listen, I'm a good nurse. I know there's many, many more nurses like me who are hungry to know more and learn more. I want to get to I want to get to a point in my life where I am well educated and know what I'm doing so I can continue to help our community. That is my goal. So yeah, I'm enjoying this position. It's a lot of reading, a lot of documentation. You're mostly in your office, updating orders and talking to doctors and following up on consultations and talking to family members and following up with, it's just a lot of paperwork, You're the background behind your nurses on the floor and stuff like that. Even with any complaints that the nurses have, like, hey, this patient's change of status, they come to you and ask you questions. What do you think I should do? Should I do a urine on this patient? This patient's not acting like themselves. Should we contact psych? Or do you think that I, assess this patient well? So far I've been doing good with giving answers and being accurate on it. And if I don't have the answer for them, I usually call one of my colleagues or speak to one of my doctors that I'm close with and ask them questions. And I try to direct my nurses to the right, direct them to the right path and stuff. It can be challenging because Most of the time, like I work 8 hour shifts. I am on salary. So once I work from 8 to 4, and if it's 4:05, I'm not getting paid for it. The OT has to be approved and stuff like that. So by 4 o'clock, I leave out of there. The one thing about this position that I don't like is that I bring work home most of the time, and I tend to work from home for a couple hours and stuff. I don't get paid for that, but that's the type of person that I've been for a long period of time. I've always been a type of person who likes to go on and beyond and make sure that my work is done and done the right way. So that just gives me a peace of mind and stuff. Um, yeah, so far I am liking it. I am also, a little stressed out because I am going through a lot when it comes to, like I said, taking care of my 95-year-old father with my children and stuff like that. And I'm married, so I have a lot on my plate. But now that I'm done with this class, I can really start to breathe a little bit and stuff. Is it a good thing for a nurse of 2.5 years, 3 years to become a charge nurse? I would say yes, if you can handle it. If you're good to work under pressure, then go for it. It's not for everybody. When I started, like I said, I've only been in it for 5 weeks, and I'm up to date with a lot of stuff. You want to make sure that your care plans, your matrix, your orders are done correctly and stuff like that. Your carts are clean, your floor is fine. It's a lot that goes with being a unit manager and stuff like that. But I look at it like, I don't know, more of like, if you're an organized person and you can work under pressure, then you should do fine and stuff like that. If you're fine with talking to families, with doctors, and not intimidated talking to doctors and getting orders from them, then this is the position that you want to be. You know what I'm saying? As well as writing people up or having to bring somebody in and speak to them about their behavior. If you're okay with that, again, then this is the position that you want to be. Now, if you feel like none of this is you, and you just want to pass your meds, take care of your patients, and go home by 3:30, then hey, being a cart nurse is what you want to do. It's where you need to be. Do I like this position? 50-50. It's making me feel like when I first became an LPN and I was thrown into the nursing home. I was nervous, didn't know what I was expecting, cried about it. The money was fine, but I was just like, oh my God, I don't know if this nursing is for me. And then like after 3 months, I was just like, you know what? Like, whoa, this is good, And as of now, I am feeling nervous. Like I said, it's only been 5 weeks, and I am taking in a lot, But I also have a good support system. One, it being my husband who supports me in this position. Second is my DON who is helping me. Like, she has taught me so much in just 5 weeks. I'm also a quick learner, so I tend to grasp things right away and stuff. But yeah, so far it is good. What are my plans? So I haven't told you guys, but by the end of the year, we are planning to buy a house. Right now we rent. And so we are working to save up for a house. Is it the right time to buy a house in this market? No. But when you have a family and you are tired of renting, and basically you're paying more than you will pay for a house in a mortgage, with a mortgage and taxes and stuff like that, the better choice is to buy a house and stuff like that. So my husband and I are financially stable, that we're like, you know what, let's buy this house before you start your RN program next year. And that's what I'm trying to do. Once I buy a house, then I think my next plan is to step down as a unit manager and go back to being a cart nurse, which I have explained this to my job. Before I took this position, I laid it out on the table. I said, hey, yeah, know I'm going to school to become an RN. That's why I went per diem. If you guys want me to be a unit manager, I'm going to do it. I'll do it for you guys, but it's only going to be for a couple months, because my goal is to go back to school. I'm not going to let anything get in the way. Besides, of course, if something happens with my children, my family, then, hey, I'll have to stop for the moment and stuff. But I'm not going to let work or money get in the way of me going back to school and stuff, because the end goal, and I've said this in a lot of videos, is to get my RN and then grow from that and stuff like that. I feel like I'm stuck in one place. Not saying about my job, but as an LPN, I feel like there is not a lot of opportunities. And out here in I live in New Jersey, and there's not a lot of opportunities. And I am that type of person that I don't like for someone to tell me, no, you can't do that because you're an LPN. No, you can. And I'm like, and listen, I love you girls. I love you RN nurses out there, but there are some RN nurses that they take those two letters up to here. You know what I'm saying? They think that they're better than you, and they think they can do the job better than you. And I'm not just saying just RNs. I'm even LPNs with many years of experience. And hey, kudos to you guys. Not trying to talk crap about you guys. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? It's frustrating because it's like, yeah, I give you that. You have years, but just because you have years, or you have an RN behind your name, whatever, doesn't mean you know it all. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know it all. But I've seen things where I'm like, you're not, you have this many years of experience and you can't do this, or you're an RN and you can't do this, but you're get please. You know what I'm saying? So I try to say like, be humble. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it quiet. You know how many times people come to me and they'll be like, "Oh, how many years have you been working as a nurse? Like what, 10 years?" And I'm like, "No, only 2 years or 2.5 years." And people are impressed of what I know and stuff like that. So I always say it's not your title, it's not how many years, it's what you know and how you are and stuff like that. So yeah, the goal is for me to go back to being a cart nurse. I'm doing this for now. My bosses have told me that this is a really good experience. This will work very well for my resume, which is true. I know. I wasn't doing this for my resume. I was doing this to expose myself more and stuff like that. If it helps me land the job that I'm looking for in the future, then hey, kudos. But like I said, I want to expose myself to more because I want to be able to help more patients and reach more people than what I'm reaching now. So yeah, that is a small summary of what I am going through right now. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Leave me any comments. Like, let me hear from you guys. And keep me updated with what's going on. Again, thank you so much for all the love that I've been shown on this channel. Continue to check my YouTube channel out. Please recommend my channel to other nurses or students who are going into medical school, or people who are thinking about it and just want to hear about just an experience of a nurse, an LPN. uh, Again, thank you so much. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys around.